the beauty and the ugly in societal structures. When I was a kid, I remember sitting around much older people, having family discussions with the uncles and other people who were much older than I am, talking about the erosion of culture and our norms and what we are used to, how things are very different. And I thought to myself that, these are clearly people who are stuck in the past, refuse change, clinging to rules that limit freedom. Because as a child, growing up in a traditional home, you feel very oppressed. You feel like you need your freedom, And fast forward a few years later, I'm looking at society shift. I'm looking at the children coming after me, how I think they are just out of place. And it got me in deep thought. Really thinking about the state of things. And this takes me the mold and the modern rebel, right? Because when conversations about culture, religion, or tradition come up, many young people roll their eyes like I did in my time. To them, these are dusty relics of the past, oppressive, outdated systems best left in the rubble of history. But the very fact that these systems have survived for centuries should make us pause. They are not accidents of history. They are engineered human frameworks. These are things that over time evolved. Everyone added what they added, and they managed to survive for this long. Because if we go to the theory of evolution, it says survival of the fittest. And these are just not species. Even ideas that are stronger than others or in the hands of the strong survive. There have been molds that shape people, families, communities into functioning wholes. These are the structures that have made us who we are. And whether we realize it or not, many of the virtues that we take pride in today are products of these old systems. Many of us think we are just strong, we are just hardworking, we are just virtuous, we take pride in some of these things. But you do realize many of these things are a product of the system that we have come up in. Many women today value being treated with courtesy, respect, men opening doors, offering seats, shielding them in dangerous situations. These are not just random acts of kindness. They are cultural habits nurtured in what some might now call the patriarchy. Right? The very systems we critique may have those behaviors so deeply that even strangers act on them. Because most cultures in the world have that, respect, have that built into the culture is a thing that you don't treat a woman like this, you don't do this to her, you don't, it's built in. So even a stranger, when he finds you in a random place, as a man, they offer to help you, right? So the very system we critique may have embedded like those behaviors within it, those things that we love, but yet we hate the system as a whole that has made those things possible for us. And there's a very big risk that is involved in destroying systems that are kind of the fabric of our society. History, for one, is full of societies that have ripped out their foundations too quickly. The French Revolution is one. They overthrew the monarchy and religious order, only to spiral into chaos. I mean, they have stabilized after a while, but there was chaos, because sometimes we focus so much on what we think is ugly about a situation, and then forget the beauty that it provides, that we do enjoy and wish to continue enjoying. And the trick now is in how do you dismantle the ugly and keep the beauty. Because I'm not here to say that the old systems don't have problems. They do. But these systems often hold invisible threads that keep societies coherent. A good example is just to look into what has religion, what has culture and all these things been able to do when it comes to marriage, funerals, these major events. Growing up, we had rites of passage for both women and men. Cultures had a built-in system to kind of deal with the different stages of our lives. Cultures had a certain, whether you needed to talk, there were designated people within the culture who you talk to about deep things or things that you are struggling with. But now, because we, especially here in Africa, because we are moving away from our cultures, because some for a religious reason, some just you want to hop onto the Western way of doing things, you find that you put yourself in a place where you forego the benefits that were embedded in the culture in the attempt to do away with the ugliness. Because if you come from like a well-structured home, their parents, their uncles, their what, most likely you will end up married, whether you have too much or don't have too much, because the system protects its own, right? But when we moved out of that and became individuals, and whenever there were problems within the marriage or whatnot, there were always people who would come to your aid and talk to you and do what, and these things you didn't have to pay for. Because anyone who has tried to look for one, you understand that good therapy is extremely expensive, and these people charge per hour. But this was the job of the elders, but we have done away with the elders because we are modern people, we are educated people. So I am all for cultural reform. I am not opposed to it. There are certain things that I identify within the culture, within religions, that I feel like this shouldn't really be here. But I don't want us to do cultural reform from a place of anger, from a place of emotion, because nothing ever really works out well when we do things in anger like that. And this is a deep thing. This is a thing that these things have been around for the longest time. So we'll do ourselves a favor to first study and understand why were these things done like this? Why was this done like this? What is the root? What is the origin? We need to ask questions and deep dive, right, into our culture and understand how certain things came to be, so that when we do reform, we reform from a place of understanding, from a place of knowledge, so that in an attempt to fix things, we do not make things worse. Because when you solve a problem that you do not fully understand, whatever solution you come up with is meant to have unintended consequences, because they are just things you couldn't factor in because you didn't know. Am I saying we need to get to a place of complete and full knowledge? I don't think we'll ever get there as individuals, but as a collective, when we as young people take time to look into our culture and understand why were things done like this? Why was it done like this? Why did this thing happen like this? Because, like as it is written, that the understanding is the wellspring of life. Whatever we do without understanding, we are bound to create more problems than solutions. And what we want right now are solutions. So yes, culture has some things, religion has some things, these superstructures of our society have some things that are not desirable within them, but they also have things within them that are quite beautiful, that we do not want to throw away the baby with the bathwater, like it is said by many people, because there is value in religion, there is value in culture, there is value in tradition. Now, the point is we should get, and I think we can only get there by deep inquiry, deep study, to get to a point where we identify what the input was that gave this particular output and what the process is in between, so that when we change the input, we will have a desired output, and we do not put ourselves in a situation where we change the input. We think that no, things should be like this, and then we become shocked by the output because we are like, how did this happen? It happened because we did not take time. We were too quick to change things without truly understanding. So I submit to you that all of us young people, we should look at our religions, we should look at our culture, we should look at politics, all these superstructures that exist in society, how we do things, how did those that preceded us, how did they do things? How are we doing things now? What worked? What is working? What didn't work? Why didn't it work? And what isn't working? Why isn't it working? How can we change it? And I think only then can we truly get to a place where we make long-lasting solutions, because we make it from a place of understanding and not out of haste to just destroy the patriarchy, burn the patriarchy. The future is female. What are the consequences of both men and women working? What are the consequences? What are the consequences of having a stay-at-home husband while you are working as a woman? What are the consequences? All these new things that we are so excited to jump onto. What are the long-term consequences of these things? Because now we are also in a situation where we are not, the money is there, big house, big cars, but we are not raising our children. They are being raised by TV, being raised by nannies, and a lot of parents these days, you know that you do not see yourself in your children because you don't spend much time with them. There's no time to make an imprint. They are yours biologically, mentally, and whatever is there, they belong to someone else. So I think these are the things that we have to take a look at and discuss seriously to see how do we solve these problems. Money is important. We need to go out there and make it. How do we make money in a sustainable way? How do we tackle all these problems? The religions, what we believe. Can we do a deep dive and really understand? Because we have a lot of people now that whether it's men not finding women, women not finding men to marry. And why is this? Because we have destroyed the system. We have done away with the structure. And we find ourselves in a place where we understand, I work hard, I do what, why can't I find a man? But culturally, when we go back to the roots, how come the uneducated, uncivilized, what could easily get what you are so desperately seeking with your master's degree and your PhD, but you are not finding? Because this is not a thing to blame anybody. I'm trying to seek solutions. I'm more trying to find a path so that we get to solutions. And with that, This is Nello the Seeker, the advocate of balanced living. Think about it deeply, and thank you.